Buenas and half a day to our listeners on Guam and in the CNMI. It's now time for Total Health right here on Joy FM Radio, where your questions get answered by health professionals. If you have any health-related questions, we would love to hear from you. Call your questions and comments in at 472-1111 or text or WhatsApp 686-9999. If you're in the CNMI, please call 323-1113. Welcome everybody to Total Health.
Half a day, good afternoon, and welcome to Total Health. If you have a health question, you could give us a call on Guam, 671-472-1111. In the CNMI, 670-323-1113. We're streaming live on Facebook, so go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below. The topic for today on the show is
neuropathic pain.
Thank you. I almost forgot. And we have a guest, Joanna Duenas. Welcome to the show. And thank you, Elena, for taking over the topic today.
Yes. Hi, Scott. We are so happy to be here again. And today we're going to discuss about something that we kind of try to avoid talking because pain is not one of the easiest topic to talk about it. And especially chronic pain or pain that you have endured for so many years, regardless if it is emotional, if it is physical, if it is mental. But I believe it is an appropriate, place that we can talk directly about pain. And if you have any questions regarding the pain you're experiencing right now, feel free to leave your comments or to give us a call. So today, unlike every other show, we are kind of making a precedent here in our radio, Total Health. We have invited a patient for the first time, not a specialist in some condition, but a patient that turned her test into testimony. So I'm going to leave Joanna, and I'm going to ask Joanna to present herself with few words, say something about herself, and just share her journey of pain and without pain.
Thank you so much, Elena. Good afternoon, everybody. What a blessing it is to be in this program. Kind of long awaited, but it is a blessing right now in an answered prayer. Yeah, my name is Johanna Duenas. I am a teacher. I'm an ESL teacher at Astumba Elementary School, a happy mom to 5 kids, and a happy wife to my husband. And it's such a blessing. Thank you so much. It is my honor to be here, and I am just excited to be here.
No, Joanna, the privilege is ours, and I can't wait to hear more about your testimony.
All right. I'm thinking, where am I going to start? So, I recall about 20 years ago, maybe 21, 22 years, when, for a 7-day Adventist, we call it health message. But really for everyone else there, layman's term, it is just the ability to live happily and comfortably with a good health behind you. So I remember practicing these principles that I have learned, getting good nutrition, exercise, getting good water, sunshine, temperance in all things, air, having rest, and trust in divine power. As we know, it's the new start. So, as life goes on, you tend to wane from the principles that you hold true in your heart, and you tend to forget things and you kind of slack behind. So back of my mind, I know one of these days I'm going to experience it. I know I'm going to experience pain. It's just a matter of time because of the things that I have been digesting, imbibing, getting used to in my life. Food, especially the way my sleeping patterns, and that type of thing. So one fateful day, Elena, in September, it was nighttime. About 11 in the evening, I was awakened by a sharp pain on my left hand. And it was so painful that I could even somehow liken it to birth giving. Maybe some of you will not agree, but it was just so painful. The pain progressed over 2 days, 3 days. Before I know it, it became 1 week. And the pain was intense. It was like a 24/7 kind of pain. It just goes on and varies in degrees. So I noticed that the time it would be so painful would be in the evening. So I went to, I went to the doctor, and I saw you also, and I didn't know what to do. Along that line, I was asked to do I how do you say this? I was gonna do I took upon me a responsibility that was supposed to um, get some payment from that responsibility, do some kind of work where I can earn something. But because of the pain, I just couldn't do it. So long story short, I said, Lord, what am I gonna do? You know what started happening to me? I started having I started becoming anxious. I said, if this pain persists, how am I gonna work? How am I gonna cook? How am I gonna take care of my children? How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do that? So I went to different doctors, and one of the doctor that I went to actually told me, there are two approaches to these kind of pain. Either one, you take medication. And I actually had medication in my shelf. And as I was reviewing the different side effects of that medication, I said, I am not sure I wanted to do this, but the pain was so severe that I was getting tempted to do it. But the other option that the doctor told me was, you can do away with the harmful things that maybe you have been ingesting your body all these many years, like Can I be really honest?
Oh, please. Please.
Caffeine. So I was really, I'm going to say addicted, but just really love iced tea. I would experiment with different flavors, and not much of a coffee lover, but more on the iced tea, a lot of sugary stuff that I would ingest my body. I'm sleeping late at night, and I would even, I was so much into my diet. I mean, the neglect of the principles in that, so much so that I would schedule when I'm going to eat next. I'm always thinking, when am I going to eat? What restaurant am I going to check? What am I going to eat? And all of that type of thing. So, so the doctor told me in matter of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, this pain would be gone if you will do away with those toxins in your body. So I was just desperate. I was desperate. I said, Lord, this is so painful. I need to do something. I need to really, follow. I believe this is your call, Lord. I said, Lord, this is it. It was so painful that I said, I have to do it. So cold turkey, I started not, drinking iced tea anymore. I started changing my diet. I started eating a lot more of the healthy food and vegetables. And then I dealt with my circadian rhythm, because normally I would sleep at like 12 o'clock, sometimes even 1 o'clock because of the work that I have to do. But not even that. It's just getting used to that kind of lifestyle anymore. So I started making the changes. And I remember when I went to your clinic and you asked me, Johanna, how much exercise do you get? And of course, I have to be honest. I said, if I get once a week, I am lucky. So she said, no. You need to do something, Joanna. You need to make changes. Your age bracket and all that. You need to make the changes that is needed. So I braced myself and I started I remember kneeling down one night and I said, Lord, I am so sorry for just the kind of lifestyle that I've lived, not really paying attention to the health principles that I know and I have imbibed over the years, kind of slacking off. Now this is my situation, but I need to get out of this situation, and I know you have a solution for me. So please give me the strength. So I started going to the gym. 5 o'clock, I would wake up and take care of my son. He goes to GAA. After that, prepare lunch for my kids, prepare everything else, and then I'll go to the gym. And I'll be there for and this was like September-ish, going to October. I'd be in the treadmill for maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And I'll just walk, run, shuffle doing that. Before long, I started experiencing changes a little bit. Not only with the exercise, of course. I just really stopped taking iced tea, drinking that and drinking other, even cola drinks. I'm just going to be really honest with you. Just the temptation is just so strong. And I have to tell you that don't be hard on yourself, but at the same time, there's power that is available for us if we really hold on to that power. So I noticed when I stopped drinking the iced tea, especially that iced tea, I noticed some changes in my the pain develop the pain management. By the way, I did not take the meds. I just put it on the side just in case I need it for some future time. But I looked at it was about one week, maybe 2 weeks, not even 3 weeks. I noticed the pain was gone. I mean, there's still the tingling sensation that you feel, but the pain itself, it was gone. So I went back to my doctor and he said, "So how is your pain?" And I said, "Doc, no more pain, no more pain." And what did you do? And I said, "Well, I just followed what you said. I did away with the harmful stuff that I have been taking in the food and the drinks, and I've been sleeping a lot earlier now, doing the exercise, especially going to the gym before and after work." So that's what happened to me. And I was just gonna do the spiritual part, maybe in a little bit, but more than just losing weight, getting rid of the pain, the most important part was the ability to wake up early in the mornings, fresh and ready for the day, and being able to do my devotional time with God. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that God used this pain to wake me up and say, "Joanna, what are you doing in your life? You need to grab a hold of your situation and make the necessary changes." So it's been 4 months. This September, October, November, December, January now. I am pain-free
Wow.
and happy to tell you the story that it is possible to live a better life when we follow the health message.
Thank you, Johanna, from sharing with us. That is so exciting, and we'll delve more into the pain in the next 3 sessions.
Thank you.
For our listeners out there, if you have a question and you want to call it in, our phone lines are open. On Guam, call us at 671-472-1111. That's 671-472-1111. In the CNMI, call us at 670-323-1113. That's 670-323-1113. You can also send us a message via text, via WhatsApp, via Signal at 671-686-9999. That's 671-686-9999. It's free from the CNMI. We're also streaming to Facebook. So check us out on Facebook. That's facebook.com/joyfmradio. And you can watch the video from there. Don't go anywhere. Total Health Live will be right back after the break.
There's a conclusion to your problems, an answer you've been searching for, hope you weren't sure existed. There is an end, so keep waiting. Life can seem like a waiting room, but you won't have to wait forever. Be patient. God has never forgotten you. His purpose includes you. We are intentionally in the background while you wait. God might even send a message through us, so keep listening, keep supporting. We're praying while you wait. Joy FM.
Si Joe Moasi, and thanks for listening to Total Health on Joy FM. We want to hear from you. Call in with your health-related questions at 472-1111. In Guam or in the CNMI, the number to call is 323-1113. Text or WhatsApp us at 686-9999. And now, back to the show.
Hi, and welcome back to Total Health Live. My name is Rose Trina. And in the studio today, we have Elena, Taneva, nurse practitioner, and Joanna M. Dueñas. And she's here today to tell us about her journey with pain and how she is now pain-free.
That was awesome, Joanna. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Certainly, pain
Thank
can
you.
change even your personality. You know, we all look very nice and we go to the society on a daily basis. We dress well, we smell well.
Yeah.
You know, our food tastes good, but only deep inside us, we know, how many issues we have and how many things we need to deal with. But when you on top of that, a painful condition that can completely change your personality. So this is the
True.
time that you can see really your character. And it is very important to work on yourself when you're pain-free, and to know when you experience pain, what you really need to do. And so that's why we're going to talk about that today. So, for some reason, for Christians, it is very difficult to accept the topic of pain because we just believe that if we do everything right, and God is there and He's an all loving God, we should not experience pain. And so we really fight it. We really fight. Every time that there is an ache, we're like, oh, God, please help me. And if the pain doesn't go away, we kind of, start wondering if God is all powerful, why this pain is not taken away. And some people struggle with pain for so many years. Name it, 20 years, 30 years, all their life. It is really, really not easy. It can really put everybody, to the almost till the end of their capacity, till the end of their way of fighting it back. And it comes from the word, pain comes from the word pain, P-E-Y-N, an old French word, impione, from Latin, which actually means punishment.
Oh.
And this is how we do see pain, as suffering, unnecessary, unpleasant experience, and nobody wants it. And actually, the description goes like that. Pain is a localized or generalized unpleasant bodily sensation or complex of sensations that causes mild to severe physical discomfort and even emotional distress, and typically result from bodily disorder, such as injury or disease, acute shooting pains. And also, it's a state which is marked by the presence of such sensations. In your case, it's very interesting because the pain did not result from some injury.
No, not really. It resulted from many years, several years of, I have to say, abuse of the food that I'm eating, the drinks, which I know I am not supposed to be doing. I mean, there are herbal teas. I could have chosen that, but because I love the taste of the normal tea, then I would go for that. As a matter of fact, I didn't even mention. Of course, sometimes we don't have any. We don't have time to prepare, and we just go to dare I say, like McDonald's, KFC, or whatever. That also affected. That also caused. It is all embedded in the pain that I experienced afterwards. The culmination of that.
Right. And what is interesting, it wasn't like a joint, that we might say, okay, maybe you had a gout because of the foods you were eating. It was just like in the middle of your palm.
The hand.
The hand, right?
Like being squeezed so tightly that...
And I remember you were saying like a burning sensation.
Yeah, you saw me. Right?
Yes. and it wasn't that we arrived to the solution right away. We had to do some tests. We had to do, I also remember prescribing you some medications because I was like, wow, this seems offhand.
Because
and we
you
put
love me so much
splint.
and you see my pain. You saw my pain.
You were in a lot of pain. And so it is important to grasp the pain as God's warning sign to us that there is something.
Right.
Like when you're driving a car, all of a sudden you don't like when the light lights up. But you're like, oh, there is something here going on. I better take care of that. And so we don't have, dashboards. We don't have them. But God has this warning system to us to say, hey, check it out. There is something going on with your body. Let's take care of that. We live in a society nowadays that we try to live in comfort. We try to improve our lifestyle. We try to have less things to do and like more time to enjoy. However, it seems that we do not know how to react towards pain. We push it away. We try to suppress it. We try to avoid it. And we target the pain itself, not the cause of it.
Yeah.
Oh, the pain is there and I don't like it and I need to do everything in order to suppress it. Even if you have a headache or if you have like periods pain, we just want to eliminate the pain. However, I read a book and I have shared that with you and your husband, that it is called Pain, the Gift That Nobody Wants.
That's right. You even shared that in Northern Church. It was such a blessing to hear your sermon.
Right. And I attribute this amazing work to Dr. Paul Brandt. He was the first one that he said, if there is one gift if I was a God and there is one gift I can give to the humanity, that will be the gift of pain. And so everybody would jump and say, how dare you say that? We try to avoid pain by all means.
Yeah.
That's why we have opioid crisis. That's why we have so many, people dying, like 70% of people dying from use of drug use are dying because of opioid medications, like misuse of them. And so we live in a society, we want to shun the pain as soon as it starts, even if it's 1 out of 10, we don't want the pain. Well, he saw some benefits in pain. And
It's
actually,
a warning signal.
warning signals. And he gives that description because when he became a doctor, he decided to go to a place where there is a lot of suffering. He said, I just want to make the most impact as I can make while I'm, practicing physician. So he went to India at the time when they had leprosy.
Oh.
And he saw all those people not having their limbs and not having organs, their noses, their ears, losing them because of the effect of not having pain.
They
Because we
couldn't
know
feel pain, so how would they know,
exactly
they were about to lose it already?
Exactly. So they didn't feel anything. And so he will see how people would just grab a potato that it is inside of the fire, and they would just enjoy that the potato is ready while their hand is burning.
They wouldn't feel it.
They wouldn't
right?
feel it. Or they will pour like a sunny hot water on themselves, and they will get
Wow.
blisters because they simply do not feel the pain. And he said, wow, there is something wrong with this picture. I want them to feel pain. So when they feel pain, they can protect themselves. And so he came back to the States. He started designing some instruments to help them feel pain. And actually, this is one of at that time, that was in the 80s, 60s, he designed this interesting glove, sensory glove, that when you touch something, it alarms if it is a painful experience.
Wow.
So he said, okay, I'm going to go back to India and I'm going to experiment it. And he was very pleased with that designed glove. So he put it on people there, put numerous of them. And he noticed that even this glove is like lighting up and showing that there is something wrong. They still go ahead because they do not feel any pain.
Oh.
And so he will see them walking through, thorns and all that, but they would just not even touching thorns and picking some things that
Not
are like
feel pain.
harmful. Even though it's lighting up, it's still not painful. He said, wow,
Oh.
my experience is really not that great. I need to do something else. So then he said, maybe if I let them have a buzz sensation, like bzz, maybe they will stop. And so he redesigned the glove again, went back to India. They would put it and they will feel some
taser.
buzz, but they will not do anything because they just don't feel the pain. And so it wasn't a big deal. They would just override it. Okay, I see it, but it's not a big deal.
Doing anything.
Then he said, no. Oh, wow, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it like a taser. So when they touch something, they're going to be shocked.
Yes.
And so they're going to stop. And so he went back to India. He put those special gloves on people with
Test.
leprosy. At that time, their hands were so deformed with so many scars on them. And so he was very pleased with his invention. And they would touch something that should not be touched in the first place. And then they would get a shock. And the shock was so strong that they would not continue.
Okay.
And so Dr.
worked.
Paul Brand, he said, wow, this really works.
Yeah.
However, they learn where the button to switch off is of this glove.
Oh.
And so when they get that unpleasant sensation, they will
They'll just
just
have to
turn
turn
it
it
off
off.
and they will continue forward
Oh.
until they really lose a limb.
Personal choice. It will
And
have
he
to be-
said, oh, right, personal
it
choice.
will have to be a personal choice.
Personal choice. That's why God gave us a personal choice. And then he said, no, I'm going to put the bottom of this glove on their back so they can't
It'll be
reach.
uncomfortable.
So,
to do.
yes, exactly. And so he did that. And guess what?
What
When they
happened?
have this experience, they will ask their friend to turn off the glove. and they will continue forward, just destroying
Stubborn.
themselves. Right. And you know what you're experiencing.
And I was that stubborn too myself. Just kept on drinking iced tea because it tastes so good. Just kept on eating whatever I was eating.
But
Right.
you're not any different than any one of us. We all have to fight for our health.
That's right.
You know, we all have to be mindful of that. We all have to take considerations for that, and we do it.
I guess finally, if I can say, when I finally felt the pain, it was really intense, and I said, "There, I need to stop here somewhere, or I will continue on, and it's just gonna be like this for me for maybe the rest of my life." And I was even fearful of what might happen after that. So it was not until I said yes, and I remember Daniel in the Bible where he purposed in his heart. So when I see the changes in me, I said, I made the right choice, and I'm really happy. And I don't want to go back to it anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to experience
I
the
don't want
pain
to experience
again.
the pain anymore.
Right,
Yes.
right. And so Dr. Paul Brandt realized in that moment how wise the Lord is, that he did not allow humans to have control over pain. Because if we could have a control over pain, we will all turn it off. We'll turn it off for me, we'll turn it off for you, we'll turn it off for everybody, and we'll get in so much more trouble. So
Right.
the painful experience you had in your arm was just for, the time being. But if you did not change your lifestyle, everything would have started aching. Your knees, your back, cervical spine. You would have had pains everywhere.
Yeah,
And
you're
so,
right.
right. And so the pain is there for a reason. And I
Right.
learned to embrace it. Every time I have pain somewhere, I was like, okay, what have I done? How long it will take? Let me embrace it, and let me live with that. Not fight it, not blame God for
Just
it,
let
not
it.
blame others for it. Just embrace the pain.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the music, so we're gonna go ahead and head towards our break for the first half of the show. If you have a question and you want to call it in, go ahead and call it in. If you're calling from Guam, call us at 671-472-1111. That's 671-472-1111. In the CNMI, call us at 670-323-1113. That's 670-323-1113. Send us a message via text, via WhatsApp, via Signal at 671-686-9999. That's 671-686-9999. It's free from the CNMI, and you can also check us out on Facebook. We're streaming live to our Facebook page on facebook.com/joyfm. Don't go anywhere. We're only halfway through the show. We'll see you right there. We'll see you back right after the break.
If you encounter spiritual quicksand, find the rock, take a stand, keep standing. There are things you'll encounter that will shake your world and wake you in the middle of the night. Things will seem impossible. Clouds will seem perpetually gray. Trusting God means standing up when it would seem easier to run away. God can strengthen the weak. He's been known to use Christian radio. Your support means even more are finding the courage to stand. Joy FM.
Welcome back. You're listening to Total Health on Joy FM. Call in with your health-related questions to 472-1111 in Guam. If you live in the CNMI, we want to hear from you too. Call 323-1113 or text or WhatsApp us at 686-9999. And now, here's more Total Health.
Hi, and welcome back to Total Health. My name is Rose Trina. In the studio today, we have Elena Taneva, nurse practitioner, and our guest speaker, Joanna M. Dueñas. And we're talking about pain today.
Yes, I was so inspired by this example that Dr. Paul Brandt, shared, that I decided to look at the pain in a different way. Not like, oh, there is a pain, let's put down the pain. It's like, what is this pain trying to alert me? What is this pain trying to tell my patient? What can we do differently? So Dr. Paul Brandt realized that there should be different ways of dealing with the pain. He noticed the emotional side, how important it is. Many times we somehow we say, okay, pain is only physical, but pain can be actually stimulated by emotional problems that you're living through.
That's right.
And so he discovered different ways of helping people with pain. For example, when he was in the hospital in India, he will have all those patients laying there, but he will bring a family member. And so when the person wakes up in the middle of the night with pain, the family member will get up and say, it's okay, everything, it's okay, things will get better, and give some support. And when people feel that, their pain does not go away, but at least subsides. Just the comfort and the assurance, it's really helped. And this is how he was treating patients, because at that time they didn't have opioids, right? And so then he also noticed that when people experience fear, it intensifies the pain more. Hey, I have this burning sensation in my arm, and it doesn't want to stop. It's there constantly. Wow, what about if that's going to be for the rest of my life? Maybe I have pinched a nerve. Maybe the nerve is already damaged. And when nerve is damaged, nothing can be done. And you go in this, circles of thoughts, and you just intensify the fear even more. But if you take the pain, the fear away from the pain, somehow you can face the pain better. Like, hey, Johanna, I see that you have that pain. Maybe I should have said that. Don't worry, it's not going to continue always. There should be periods of on and off, and we should find where the reason is. It's not beyond repair. The worst case scenario will start your medications, but we have to investigate what else you're taking that can contribute to that. So if my approach is like that, and I take away the fear that you may experience from that pain, that can also subside your pain. It's not going to eliminate it, but at least it's something.
I believe you. The support system is so important. I have to mention, I did not get a chance to mention it earlier, that remember when I said that I knew back then that it's just a matter of time. I am going to feel pain somewhere here. I mean, our human nature, we know that, but we are just really stubborn. I am very stubborn. But when it hit me really bad. So I remember months before that September, let's just say maybe 3 months back, I actually received a report from the exams that they did on me from another clinic that I was approaching becoming pre-diabetic. So I said, this is not just because of my age, this is because of my lifestyle. So now that's not my reality anymore. and then I just really wanted to be grateful for that. I also want to make mention, Elena, you've been such an amazing friend, and you do your job so well. You have helped so many people. You have definitely helped me. You started me into exercising. You really did. I wanted to also thank Dr. Supit. This is an amazing doctor, brother of ours, that have helped so many people, that would take the time to actually encourage people, and not just the medicine, but really, like what you said, the support system, the emotional help that we can give our patients so that they know we have that care for them and we love them. And so he was the one that actually told me in a matter of 3 weeks, you do away with these food and lifestyle change totally, you will feel the benefit of that. So
That's so awesome. God sends people on the way. And I have to tell you, I am very glad. Sometimes one person, it's not enough to tell us something, or 2 people or 3 people. And sometimes God sends, messengers to us to say, hey, that will come. Change should take place, and better results will be there.
Yes.
And I know now you're exercising even more, and you're posting your exercises. And me, as being your provider, I say, wow, my patients are doing better than me. I need to be going. I need to be exercising as well. So this is where you can motivate us as well, because we are not ones that, disease would not come to us. So if we don't take care of ourselves, we also are patients.
Right.
And yes.
I also wanted to share, even at my school, I would come to work in gym clothes. So they started noticing that, and they started noticing the drop in my my weight because, I actually dropped about 12 pounds in a matter of 3 months, which is a big thing for me.
It is, indeed.
So it's really such a blessing. So people have noticed that, and they also want to feel better. We live in a world where a lot of people are really suffering here on Guam and elsewhere, and to be able to give them an encouragement and tell them something that would really help them is such a blessing. It's a lifesaver.
Right, right. We do have many patients that, especially the gout pain, is very severe in the island. And I see patients like at least every day, someone will come because of a gout attack, and they will ask for the strongest medications. And, the world really had come to very great technological invention of how to control pain. I used to work in pain management clinic. I used to be a research coordinator there. And I can tell you, in the mainland, we have amazing devices. We have even simulators for back pain that we insert a lead inside of your spine. And then with a remote control, you can
Simulate.
you can decrease your pain. So if the pain comes up with the remote control, you can decrease it. You're like, okay, I'm good. I don't have the pain. So also we have very strong medications. The hydromorphone or the Dilaudid is one of the most potent medications that we have. It's kind of 8 to 10 times stronger than morphine. And, we do everything in order to prevent people, but then you become dependent on it if you don't treat the cause of it. And the latest hit, and we're still waiting for this medication to come, is it comes from tetrodotoxin, which comes from pufferfish and octopuses, that we take the poison of them and, we use it as a medication for our pain. But, how far we need to go before we really look for a reason from us. Don't take me wrong. There are some pains that are so intolerable. When you're in a car accident, you haven't inflicted the pain yourself.
Yes.
When you go through emotional trauma, you haven't inflicted the pain yourself in most of the cases. So there are pains that we need to face it as they are. And we might need temporary to use some of those medications or some of those, simulators. And especially when you have your leg amputated, have phantom pains, you need devices like that. You need something to go through the pain. But most of the cases, if we work on our character, especially during pain, if you take away the anger, and the anger that you're experiencing towards other people in that moment, and you resolve your problems and issues in relationships, that also can decrease the pain. So when I'm in pain, I always, I check myself. I have a checklist. Okay, I'm in pain. And for me, it's easier because, I'm a medical provider, so I can say where the pain comes from. But usually I was like, okay, check Elena, check yourself. How are you emotionally? How are you mentally? How are you physically? Because the last thing we want to have is when physical pain turns into somatic, not physical, but emotional pain turns into somatic pain. Many times people just don't know where the pain comes from until they solve their emotional issues.
I believe you saying that.
So in the same line, I will share another experience from Dr. Paul Brandt. He was saying that when he was coming back from India, one of the times he was in California and he was going to his hotel, but as he was going to the hotel, he fell into a ditch.
Oh.
And he was like, oh, wow, how can I, fall into the ditch? And he stayed there. He barely was able to get out of it. But he made it to his room and he fell asleep. And in the morning when he woke up, he tried to go to the bathroom. And when he stood up, he fell. He's like, wow, I don't feel my leg.
Oh.
He said, wow, I don't feel my leg. And he started touching it. He said, I don't feel anything. Then he grabbed a fork that was not far away and grabbed the fork and he started stabbing himself. And he said, I don't feel any pain. I must have gotten leprosy. And so being a physician for people with leprosy, he started making contacts for other physicians that they can send him sulfonamide, which was one of the first treatments for leprosy. And he started arranging things like, hey, I'm here in California. Can you send me those medications? I have no pain. I must have contracted leprosy. And I don't want to go out of my hotel room because it's really dangerous. And as he was in the process of doing that, he spent actually 3 days in the room, like wondering how he can deal with that? And he said, wow, this is so much worse than even having a pain. Not having a pain is worse than having a pain. And so after 3 days, he just woke up one morning and he was able to walk and he was able to touch his leg. He said, God, thank you. That's a miracle. But then as he was analyzing being a physician, he said, wow, actually, I have pinched a nerve when I fell into the ditch. And so I had this, response. But now as the swelling had gone down, I don't have I don't have this sensation. I actually have my pain back. And he was like, wow, God, thank you for the gift of pain. And so he is notorious with these words that he will say, pain is the gift that nobody wants. But from all the gifts, he thinks that this is the best one that God had given us.
Amazing. That is a really amazing story.
It is an amazing story. So I decided not to fight pain anymore, regardless how it comes, and just see what I can learn from it. We say no pain, no gain.
That's right.
And we certainly learn so much from our pains. I can learn from your pain too. So I don't drink iced tea because of what you shared.
I don't drink that anymore, and I could tell that just the choices. Again, we're gonna go back to the choices. At that time when I was experiencing the pain, I could have continued on with what I was doing, but because I made the choice, I was intentional in wanting to end it. I believe I'm benefited, but not only me. Like you said, you're benefited by learning my story. The others that are listening to this would know, and they would have the choice to continue on or really make the changes.
And we don't realize that most of the times, I'm not saying every time, most of the times our pain also can be as a inflammatory process. We do eat foods that are very, rich in inflammatory markers, and less of antioxidants. The fruits and vegetables, they can help us. Did you know if your diet is very rich on vitamin B and vitamin B1, thiamine, pyridoxine, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, and especially vitamin D in veterans research, it shows it can almost eliminate the pain. Like the good food that you can eat can ease the pain significantly.
Yes, that's so true. Let food be your medicine.
Right? And the medicine will be your food.
And that's the music. So this is the last break of today. But don't go anywhere because we still have just a little bit more time left. If in the last 15 minutes you have a question and you want to call it in, go ahead and call us on Guam. That's 671-472-1111. That's 671-472-1111. In the CNMI, call us at 670-323-1113. That's 670-323-1113. Send us a message via text, via WhatsApp, or via Signal at 671-686-9999. That's 671-686-9999. It's free from the CNMI. And we're also streaming to Facebook, so you can find us on facebook.com/joyfmradio. That's facebook.com/joyfmradio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
What if living was never supposed to be about stuff? What if hope came from a different source? What if our attitude towards stuff could alter our present and future? Welcome to another Word Made Fresh from Joy FM. 1 Timothy 6:17 through 19.
Command those who are rich in the present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to be generous and willing to share, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life.
We all know what it's like to hold on to something and then lose it. Put your hope in God. Be generous and willing to share, so you may take hold of life that is really life. Is your hope in a bank account or the market? There's a much better hope waiting, and that hope is the stuff of real life. 1 Timothy 6:17 through 19.
Joy FM, family-friendly radio, joyfmradio.net.
And we're back with more Total Health. Give us a call with your medical questions. Number to call in Guam is 472-1111. If you're in the CNMI, the number to call is 323-1113. Or you can text or WhatsApp us at 686-9999. Now back to the program.
Hi, and welcome back to Total Health Live. We've only got a couple minutes left of today's show, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it.
So before the break, we were talking that some of the foods we can eat actually can decrease significantly our pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So vitamin B6 is very important, even if you have cramps, like period pains as well. And vitamin B6 is in abundance in bananas, dates, figs, grapes, jackfruit. Yes, also raisins, passion fruit, lemon, avocado, mango, honeydew, and cantaloupe.
Making me hungry.
Yes, yes, those foods can help you with pain.
Amazing.
Also, another source of a substance that can really help you with pain is when you take tryptophan, because tryptophan is what it is turning into serotonin, and those are,
the happy hormones.
happy hormones, we can call them. And you can obtain that from the tryptophan, from the spirulina, from chia seeds, from the pumpkin seeds, from soybeans and roasted soybeans, wheat germ, watermelon seeds. The watermelon seeds are pretty healthy. Sesame seeds or tahini, flax seeds, cashew, pistachio, and almonds. So God had given us non-opioid painkillers, but we want not to take them as much as we want some unhealthy foods to take place.
Right.
But vitamin D is another one. It has been shown to help veterans significantly reduce their pain after, combat and physical injuries. So we should not underestimate the power of the plants when it comes to pain.
I believe so.
Yes, and so also recently we got the marijuana use quite often, and medical marijuana, and we kind of thought we discovered the panacea for the pain, and became a very big hit. And and even my patients are like, wow, only CBD oil helps me, and all those ways of like applying the CBD oil have been found to be helpful. Yes, I mean, it can decrease the pain for the time being, but it does not eliminate the pain
Altogether.
And there are more and more studies coming that are showing actually the harm that we can get from marijuana in the long term. And one of the latest, actually, we were talking last radio show about children and what the mothers can do before the babies are born. If a mother uses marijuana, there is a very high chance of developing autism. And we didn't know that. We didn't know that until, very large scale study was done, more than 500,000 patients, in which we discovered that and there is a high chance of autism. And we see a lot of autism. I'm not blaming it entirely on the marijuana and CBD oils and tetrahydrocannabinol, but we should not use toxins to help us, or medications to help us with the pain in a long term. Help with the pain and then find what's the reason, find what's the cause, work on your emotions, work on your mental pain, and embrace it.
That's right. I'm just reminded of some of the Bible verses. There's one that says that God actually wants us to live an abundant life. So if we are in constant pain, that would not be, we wouldn't really experience that abundant life that God promises. There's also another one that says, if we follow the commandments of the Lord, then He will not put in us the diseases that He has put in the Egyptians. Meaning to say, generally, the whole wide world over are doing what they're doing because that's what they've been doing all the rest of their lives. But we know better once we know these things, what to do to have good health.
Right.
Yes.
Right. It is very important when the pain comes our way that we don't reject it and blame God and just exclude God from our pain because it's way too much. Only if you invite God in your pain, you have a faster way of
Way of
healing, because God
healing.
has promised us so many Bible verses in which he said, I'm going to bring healing to the land.
If I can also share, I know it's almost time is almost up, but um, before I experienced that pain, I noticed also sometimes when we are too much into stress, sometimes we kind of forgo of a lot of the devotional time that we used to have with the Lord before. But like you said, God is just so amazingly powerful and intelligent that he knew just the right kind of pain to give me, to allow rather, to have me experience my life so that I can come back to him wholeheartedly. So because of my change in my circadian rhythm, I've been sleeping a lot earlier now, eating healthy food, going to the gym before going to work and after work. As a matter of fact, after this, I'm going to go to the gym.
Oh, wow.
Maybe
You
we can
beat
go
me with
together.
that. Wow.
No, I'm going to take you with me. and even Rostrina. We're all going to go. I'm able to wake up earlier in the morning, have that devotional time, pray, and it's addictive. I mean, instead of the addiction from the medications and all that, why not have the natural addiction, which is when we follow the Lord and we follow him, we know him to be faithful, you'll stick to that. And I'm sticking with this. I remember my husband was just telling me, because I would post to friends, that this is what I'm doing and I'm very happy for the result. And he said, let's see if this will continue on for 6 months or a year. I said, yes, it will. I assure you, because I have purposed in my heart. So we're both exercising nowadays a lot more.
That is so amazing. And the exercise itself, it's really recommended in
It helps
painful
you have
conditions.
the
Even like
positive,
rheumatoid
like-
arthritis, if you're going through that, exercise is one of the treatments, like the most
That's
effective
right.
treatment. Osteoarthritis especially.
And so simple. It's a simple thing that we can do.
It's a simple thing, but it does require your will. It does require
Commitment.
your dedication. But if we don't spend time to be healthy, we have to spend time to be unhealthy and be sick.
That's
And
right.
we don't want that.
I remember the adage that says health is actually wealth. Right? We can have all the money and be sick and not really enjoy the things that God wants us to enjoy.
Right, and we want to have an abundant life, as you said.
That's
So I
right.
really like the quote from Paul Brand that he says, paying God's way gives grace without end, but paying not God's way gives grief without end.
Beautiful.
And I would really like to encourage all of us to look for the grace that God is want to give us through every pain I go through. When I was growing, and I often have some conditions, like some illnesses that I would be not happy about it, and I would just wonder why God would give those to me. But now as a provider, when I see patients that suffer from the same, I really know how they can come out of it. And I really can sympathize with them. They have all my attention. They have all my sympathy, because I know and I have been in their shoes. And so now I started processing the fact that I went through so many conditions just because I may know how to be a better provider. But I didn't see it that way at that time. And when people say, oh, I have shoulder pain, I was like, I know, I was about to be operated and I had steroid injections every week until I decided to use only the ice. And ice helped me more than the steroid injections, more than physical therapy. But if you are faithful enough to put ice for 20 minutes every 2 hours, you can experience so many benefits from the hydrotherapy that we kind of tend to, not believe in, or suppress it, or just believe it's a futile way. And so let your faith define your situation. Don't allow the situation to define your faith. Wherever you're going through, ask the Lord, what is he teaching you through that? What is going to come out of that? How your pain can be a blessing to others. God said, with my wounds, you have been healed, because he had to go through so much pain. And from all people that have ever lived, Jesus knows what pain is.
That's right.
The gruesome death that he experienced on the cross, more than 1,000 wounds that have been inflicted by twice being flogged, and whipped. He needed close to more than 1,000 stitches if, somebody would have really sutured him, because those whips, they can cause like a wound 10 centimeters long, which will require at least 10 stitches per each. And if he's beaten, 39 times twice. You can calculate that. And so he went through so much pain. Not only that, he also had carpal tunnel. You know, the nails went through his hands. He did experience the pain. You experienced the burning sensation when it was, you know, going through the medial nerve in the hand. He experienced that with the peroneal nerve in his feet. He experienced that with the dislocated shoulders that he had to carry the cross. He knows what you're going through. He's not a God that he's out there and you have pain and he doesn't have it. And he actually suffers every time when we do suffer. But he does have a solution. He does have a grace. And no pain, no gain. Something will come out of your pain. And I'm so glad that you embrace the pain.
I have to say that that pain was indeed a blessing, because of where I am now, pain-free, and wanting to do more for the Lord, for my family, and just being grateful every day.
That's amazing. So from a pain 10 out of 10, Joanna just said that it was a blessing.
It is a blessing. It's indeed a blessing. Pain is a blessing.
Pain can be seen as a blessing. And I am grateful for the pains, for the lessons I've learned from it, not for the pain itself. It really doesn't feel good at the time.
Blessing,
but I am grateful to God. It says for Jesus that pain didn't surprise him. And hatred didn't paralyze him. And adversity did not surprise him. Amazing. So even Jesus himself embraced the pain and made something so amazing. He knew that he will go through pain, but that is gonna bring so much joy. And because of the foreseeing joy, he went through it. You might be suffering. You might be so much in pain. However, there is an end to pain. One day Jesus will come and wipe our tears, and he's gonna embrace us. And what is interesting, I will finish with this sentence, that the same pathways that go for pain go for happiness. So the more pain you have experienced, the more happiness God is gonna reward you. And he's faithful to complete that. Maybe we won't see it right away. Maybe we will not see it while we're still here. God has a great and amazing plan, and we have to trust the one that suffered pain beyond measure in order to experience joy beyond measure. Thank you so much. That was our topic about chronic pain, and I hope we all learned something from it. Joanna, your testimony was amazing.
Thank
you so much for touching the lives of so many with your amazing words.
You're welcome, and mine is the pleasure.